This tower, known locally as the Pie Green Tower, as a child used to give me nightmares. I'm going to explain why in a bit, but I'm going to put those nightmares to bed by rough sleeping in its shadow. Let's go and have a nosy around and see what we've got here. You see, I was born in the late 60s, in the 70s, at the height of the Cold War, and the talk was at school not what you're going to be when you grow up, but if you grow up. Now my parents, you see the height of the tower, we're going to have a look at that properly in a minute, both shift workers, so quite often I'd come home from school and then be at work. I got used to the system, it's just the way it was then. And quite often there'd be a note, teas in the fridge, warm it up for this amount of time and all the rest of it. You see, the dinner had to be warmed up in the oven because there was no microwaves back then. So everything got quite dried out. Happy days. But more often than not we had notes saying they were too busy to sort things out. We had to work long hours back in those days. So I became quite the master of cooking an egg butty. Very much what I've raised upon. On a good night, there'd be a little bit of money, pound note, if it was a really good night. Go and treat myself to a chippy dinner. Yes, Mum, of course I'll do that. I won't be going to the shop buying 20 John Player Special and chocolate and rum, raisin and rum chocolate. Won't be doing that, no. And then going back home and having an egg butty. Working the system from an early age. So where was I? The Pie Green Tower. This big thing up here. And why was it the cause of my nightmares? At least you can see not many people come around here, so this is a good thing. We used to live about 5 miles away, and the Pie Green Tower was always on the skyline. You could see it from just down the road from my house. It was out on the drive, you could see it from the M6 motorway. And it was just one of those things which is always there. And then one day, I piped up in the back of the car. Mummy, Daddy, what's that thing over there? So I asked them, what is that thing? And to my amazement, or their amazement to be honest with you, they turned the radio down. And what was that, David? What's that big tower over there? And I wasn't much of a communicator as a child. Still not now, to be honest with you. So I turned the radio down. I stopped on the conversation about what Tony Blackburn was wearing on top of the pops this week, or whatever boring shit I was talking about. What's that, David? That big tower over there, that big thing, look at it. Whoa! My mum's, oh, you don't have to worry about that, David, it's just the Pie Green Tower. But my dad was like, oh, that's the reason you're gonna die. What? My mum's like, don't tell him that, don't tell him that. I goes, well, he's got to know. If war breaks out, Russia's got a big nuclear weapon aimed straight at that. We're all gone instantly. Well, Mum was like, don't tell him that, don't tell him that. I started slapping him and smacking him. Apparently I shouldn't be feared that I'm going to die. However, he was driving the car and she was smacking him 60 miles an hour. Logic. Some people don't have it. But I told my mum and Dad not to worry, I'm fine, not to worry about it. But inside I'm going, holy fucking shit. Why the hell am I going to die because of that thing over there? What the fucking hell is it? But I told them I was fine. A little bit upset, but I'll get over it. Maybe a chippy tea would help cheer me up. Always working the system, even from an early age. Now, I don't think worrying about dying is a bad thing to worry about. You see, you're told not to play in the road because you get run over. You're told not to eat plants that you don't know, all the rest of it. So when you're told this big tower is going to be the reason why you might die, I think it's only fair to worry about it, isn't it? Of course, I did ask about it at school and all the rest of it, but kids are kids. You got no internet back then, so I didn't really know what it was. I thought maybe it's one of them inter-ballistic missiles, and that's how they're hiding it like that. Of course, it never occurred to me they kept them underground, but you know, I was a cute kid. I wasn't a clever kid. And then I heard about number stations that transmit secret code out to agents in the fields. I became fascinated about that when I first heard about it. And so maybe it makes perfect sense to blow it up to stop the information getting out there. It'd be about 15 years before I found out what it was actually for. We used to live about 5 miles away from where this is located. And it just happens to be sitting at the top of a hill. So it stands at 318 foot high, and it just happens to be on the highest point of Staffordshire. So it can be seen for many miles around, and that's actually why it's here. The ground that it sits on is 800 feet above sea level, and that's so if I'm maths is right, it's over a mile above sea level, and that gives it a fantastic view across the land. So what I eventually found out is the Pie Green Tower was it was Operation Backbone, a point-to-point radio link service. Basically a line of sight communication. Not too far from when in the olden days with the semaphores or the bonfires to let people know there's invaders coming. And the idea being, if there was a nuclear war breakout, these towers would all be able to communicate with each other. We didn't have satellites and all the rest of it back in that day. So they built these towers, the reinforced concrete. I mean, it's been up, what, 50, 60 years now, something like that. So it's absolutely solid. And what it does, it gives a line of sight. This one has apparently got a line of sight to the BT Tower in Birmingham, about 30 miles that way, and to another tower in Cheshire, 50 miles that way, I think it is. Could be wrong about that distance and all the rest of it. When we're thinking about it now, if you just hit one of the towers, it breaks all the communication. So was it that clever? I don't know. But it could have been a legitimate target in the Cold War. The Cold War's over now, so we're all safe now, we can all sleep in our beds, can't we? So why am I doing this? Fair question. I'm part of the Stealth Camping Alliance, and one of the things we do for each other is once a month one member will pick a challenge, and then everybody wants to partake, goes off and films that challenge, and then we all release our videos on the same weekend. We all watch each other's videos, so it helps each other with the algorithm and all the rest of it, because you know, suddenly stealth camping's a hot topic that week. And then we all meet up in the, you know, the premiere, and we all have a good laugh and whatever with each other and wind each other up sometimes. But behind the scenes, we help each other out with critique. Or if you film this like that, or if you've done this, or if you've got problems with your sound, why don't you try this and all the rest of it. So it's we all help support each other and all the rest of it. And I'm a big believer in the rising tide lifts all ships. So we all help each other out. And this week the challenge is history, set by a wonderful guy called Dick in the Dirty channelist. Now get your minds out the gutter, because it's not that. His name's Richard and he goes camping in muddy places. Yes, I know what you was thinking. Anyway, wonderful guy, and he set the challenge of film something about history. And as soon as he said that, I mean, where I live now, Cannock, we've got so much history about it. I could do a video every month for the next 5 years with something different and all the rest of it. But this is the one that stuck out in my mind. It's a landmark that can be seen for many miles around. So maybe the thumbnail, people recognise that and come and watch it and all the rest of it. Always thinking. And thinking about what it meant to me as a kid and all the rest of it, and why it got me started in what is now called self-camping. Well, yeah, there's history of the Cold War about that. There's also the history of me. See, I think I mentioned about quite often I'd come home, my parents would work in the afternoon shift, twilight shift and all the rest of it, so I very much raised myself as a young lad, which was fine. I absolutely loved it. I was just a bit of a scallywag. But in the 70s, we used to have a thing which was like government adverts, infomercials I think they was called. Some of them was, you know, don't go swimming, open water and all the rest of it, all very good stuff.
To find me. But no one expects to find me here. It seems too ordinary. But that pool is deep. The boy is showing off. The bank is slippery.
Go on, get it. We're not supposed to go in there. Oh, go on. There's a gap down there. A gang of kids broke in yesterday. I saw them.
But at the height of the Cold War, there was talk about what to do if there was a nuclear attack. I'll slice in a little clip here of the stuff.
If we are attacked by nuclear weapons, these are the warning sounds you must recognize. First, the attack warning. If an attack is expected, the sirens will sound a rising and falling note like this. Next, the fallout warning. When fallout is expected, you will hear 3 bangs in short succession. They will be sounded by means of maroons like this. Or you may hear 3 gongs like this.
Now what you got to remember, this wasn't on during play school and all the rest of it. It wasn't kids TV, it was on after. Kids are supposed to have gone to bed at 9 o'clock. Supposed to tell the parents what to do. Muggins here, parents weren't around, so I was stopping up watching Have I Got News For You and all, no, not 9 o'clock news and all that kind of stuff. But these adverts would come on and they used to scare me shitless. Because what would I do if this happened? I had these beep, beep, beep. No, 3 gunshots, or not gunshots, was it 3 things to the bell and all the rest of it. Crap myself. One day, a flyover leaflet come through the door of what to do if this happens, build a fallout shelter under your stairs and all the rest of it. So I started doing that and all the rest of it. My parents thought I was absolutely fucking bonkers, but I'm still alive, they're not, so who's right, who's wrong. Oh, the plan. I'm parked in a lay-by over there, and it's right by the entrance, there's no problem. I'm walking around just filming myself, and I've got the tent or anything, so I'm doing nothing wrong. I can be quite open about it. I can dump the gear somewhere here. It's really well hidden, I've got to be honest. It's better camouflage than I would have thought. Slash the gear, go back to the car, park the car into the little town across the road there. Little rural area, a few shops, so I can park by there, car's secure. Come back, finish doing the filming. I'm not cooking tonight. I'm on mechanic chase, and we're in the dry spell and all the rest of it. I don't tend to do the open fires anyway, but at the moment there's a bit of a fire warning in progress, so even having the little gas stove on, I think I could be good enough that I wouldn't start a fire, but even so, just having one and filming yourself doing it, you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble, so don't do it. So there's a chippy up there. It's a world famous Pie Green chip shop, and we'll have a chippy dinner, all being well. Still working the system. Out wild camping, eating a chippy dinner, it all counts, doesn't it? So have a few cans, get my head down for the night, get up nice and early, scoot back to the car and go home. Time for breakfast. I only live a couple of miles down the road, so I could walk here, but I've got the car, so why not? Anyway, let's go and find somewhere to camp. I'm not actually camping inside of the fence. Not advisable. I mean, I don't know if it's still an MOD site or all the rest of it, but even so, you don't film yourself breaking the law, do you? I think this might be the camping spot. It's the most level place I've found so far. There's no paths coming directly here. I should be fairly well hidden. Because we're in summer, the cover's really good, the ferns are really high. So what I'll do now is go back to the car, bring the gear here, hide it, go and take the car into the secure place, walk back here, get my chips, walk back here and get my head down. We've got a few hours till dark anyway, so I'll bring you back in a bit. Hi there, bit of a confession. Stashed the gear, found something else to camp. Stashed the gear, gone back to go and have a chippy, and the chippy's closed on Sundays. Hey, just my luck, should have checked. So, improvise, adapt, overcome. I only live a few miles from here, so go home and have tea there, had my tea, watch a bit of telly, back out to the camp. The problem is losing daylight. It's just before 9 o'clock now, so we're in high summer, so I've got about an hour's daylight left. So let's go back, get the gear. What I do, I always stash the cheap gear and I always stash the cheap gear, lightweight stuff, and heavy stuff I should say, at location, go back, do what I've got to do. So like this time I've had dinner and whatever, yeah. Park the car up at that little village, and the expensive gear, the GoPro and all the rest of it, bring with me. So that's what it cost money to replace. So if you'll get off, see if we can find the gear, see if it's still here. I can remember where I put it. There's a worry. Ah, here it is. You see it? There we go. So we're going to camp over here, nice and flat, which always makes for a good night's sleep. So what I'm going to do, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to put you down, get the tent up before we lose light. So I'll bring you back when that's done. There we go, tent's all set up. How's that look? Nice and stealthy. Now, here's the problem, wherever you go, there's always been some there. Got a few cans. So, you see that? We're really quite close to the road. So, there's another one there. I do like to try and leave a place tidier than when I found it. And I've got a rubbish bag. I get out of breath so easy these days. Always carry a rubbish bag. To be honest, 2 cans is all that I've seen. That's not too bad because we're really close to the road, so that's not too bad. Right, camp's all set up. It hides it really well, doesn't it? Right. I've got my light here. We'll be doing red light tonight, not that one. Yeah, red light. That's ready for stealth. Apparently the red light doesn't travel so far. So even though the tower's only over there, I'll show you the tower. You'll see it. We're in twilight now. The road's only there. So we've got to keep the light down. You see the tower, that's still in brilliant sunlight up there. Because that's up above the horizon. Here's the fence. As you can see, the road's right there, so we've got to keep light pollution down to a minimum. There's a tent there, I think. Is it? There. That blends in pretty well if you're not expecting it, especially if we get a little bit less light. It'll blend in really well. I'm going to have a nosy at it. Obviously the rubbish bag will go. Go on, focus. Focus. There we go. I am pleased that does look good. Well, that looks a lot darker than what it is. Ooh. There we go. So the time lapse is on. Hopefully that will turn out okay. I've got it in line with the tent, and then that's in line with the big tower itself. Still nice and light up there, look here. And the forest is nice and dark. That's all we've got to do. Have a few more candles, keep nice and quiet, keep myself to myself, and snuggle down for the night. I'm hoping for a nice quiet night. There's quite a busy road-ish busy road there, but it's very quiet. It is a Sunday night, so it should be okay. School night, so the kids won't be around. All being well. So a few candles, keep my eyes out, then off to bed boys. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Noisy night. Morning. Well, I made it for the night, so that's always a bonus. I do love that feeling when you wake up of where am I, where am I? Tent done a good job. GoPro still there. So, all good. Well, there we go, all packed away. All that we left is a bit overturned pine needles. So you can't even tell we've been here. I'm going to go a short walk over there. And I'm over here. So, back home. Cup of coffee, breakfast. Then work. So if you liked it so far, like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye, thanks very much everyone.